called the Three Little Javelinas. Yep. You think they're pigs?
I think they're warthogs.
Warthogs? What do you think, Erin?
I think they're moose.
You think they're moose?
Yeah.
What do you think, Dawson?
They're cows.
Cows? What do you think, Eli?
They're like horses.
Like horses? What do you think? Like pigs? Let's find out. These
I
are the
said
Three Little Javelinas.
Hey, I said pigs. Both said me.
Yeah, you both said pigs, didn't you? You ready, Dawson? Once upon a time, way out in the desert, there were 3 little javelinas. Javelinas are wild, hairy, southwestern cousin of pigs. So you guys were right, Tristan and Ham. They're cousins of pigs. Their heads were hairy, their backs were hairy, and their bony legs all the way down to their hard little hooves were very hairy. But their snouts were soft and pink. One day, the 3 little javelinas trotted away to seek their fortunes. In this hot, dry land, the sky was almost always blue. Steep purple mountains looked down on the desert where the cactus forest grew. See all the cactus? Soon the little javelinas came to a spot where the path divided, and each one went a different way. So here they are. They're where the path divided. The first little javelina wandered along lazily. He didn't see the dust storm whirling across the desert until it caught him. The whirlwind blew away and left the first little javelina sitting in a heap of tumbleweeds. Brushing himself off, he said, "Oh, I'll build a house with them." And in no time, he did. So the first javelina built his house out of tumbleweeds. Do you think that was very strong? No? Then along came a, do you know what this is? Coyote. He ran through the desert so quickly and so quietly that he was almost invisible. In fact, this was only one of Coyote's many magical tricks. He laughed when he saw the tumbleweed house and smelled the javelina inside. A tender, juicy piggy, he thought. Coyote was tired of eating mice and rabbits. He called out sweetly, little pig, let me come in." "Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin," shouted the first javelina, who had a lot of hair on his chinny chin chin. "Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in," said Coyote. And he huffed, and he puffed, and he blew the little tumbleweed house away. But in all of the hullabaloo, the first little javelina escaped and went looking for his brother and sister. Coyote, who was very sneaky, tiptoed behind him. Yep, he went rolling, didn't he, with the tumbleweed?
Does it like the 3 little pigs?
It is like the 3 little pigs, you're right. The second little javelina walked for miles among the giant cactus plants called saguanos. They held their ripe red fruit high in the sky, but they made almost no shade, and the little javelina grew hot. When he came upon a Native American woman who was gathering sticks from inside a dried-up cactus, she planned to use these long sticks called saguaro ribs to knock down the sweet cactus fruit. The second little javelina said, "Please, may I have some sticks to build my house?" "How," she said, which means yes in the language of the desert people. So what's he building his house out of? Sticks from inside the cactus, the dried up cactus. When he was finished building his house, he lay down in the shade. Then his brother arrived, panting from the heat, and the second little javelina moved over and made room for him. So now they're both there. Here's the one that built his house out of what? Do you remember? Tumbleweed. And now they're both in the what house? The stick house. I wonder if their sister built something different. Pretty soon, Coyote found the saguaro rib house. He used his magic to to make his voice sound just like another javelina's. Little pig, let me come in, he called. But the little javelinas were suspicious. The second one cried, no, not by the hair of my what? Chinny chin chin. But the little javelinas were suspicious. The second one cried, bah, thought the coyote. I am not going to eat your hair. Would hair taste good? No. Then Coyote smiled, showing his sharp teeth. I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll what? Blow your house in. So he puffed, and he puffed, and all the saguaro ribs came tumbling down. But the two little javelinas escaped into the desert. Still not discouraged, Coyote followed. Sometimes his magic did fail, but then he usually came up with another trick. So here's the sister. The third little javelina traveled through a beautiful palo verde trees with green trunks and yellow flowers. She saw a snake sliding by smooth as oil. A hawk floated round and round above her. Then she came to a place where a man was making adobe bricks from mud and straw. The bricks lay on the ground, baking in the hot sun. The third little javelina thought for a moment and said, may I please have some adobes to build a house? Sí, answered the man, which means what? Yes, in Spanish, the brickmaker's language. So what did she build her house out of? You guys sleeping? What did she build her house out of? Bricks, right? Arturo's the only one that's answering. You guys awake?
I thought it was full.
So the third javelina built herself a solid little adobe house, cool in the summer and warm in the winter. When her brothers found her, she welcomed them in and locked the door behind them. Coyote followed on their trail. Do you think Coyote will be able to blow her house down? Little pig, let me come in, he called. The three little javelinas looked out the window. This time, Coyote pretended to be a very weak and old man with no teeth and a sore paw. But they were not fooled. No, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin, called back the third little javelina. Then I'll what? Huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in, said the coyote. He grinned just thinking of the wild pig dinner to come. Just try it, shouted the third little javelina. So Coyote huffed, and he puffed, and he huffed, and he puffed, but those adobe bricks did not budge. Again, Coyote tried. I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in. The three little javelinas covered their hairy ears, but nothing happened. The javelinas peeked out the window. The tip of Coyote's raggedy tail whistled right past their noses. What was he trying to climb in?
A chimney.
Yeah, he climbed up the roof and then he used his magic to make himself very skinny to go down the stovepipe. The stovepipe, gasped the third little javelina. Quickly, she lighted a fire inside her wood stove.
Whoa.
What a feast it will be, Coyote said to himself. He squeezed into the stovepipe. I think I'll eat them with red-hot chili sauce. Whoosh! Sizzle! Uh-oh, who's sizzling? What happened to Coyote when he went down and he sizzled? What does that mean?
He's cooking.
He was cooking. They started a fire and he started to sizzle. Then the three little javelinas heard an amazing noise. It was not a bark. It was not a cackle. It was not a howl. It was not a scream. It was all of those things put together. Yip, 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 yow! Why was he yelling like that?
He was like a clown.
Yeah, because what did he land in?
Hot.
In the hot fire. Remember, she started a fire in the stove and he went down the pipe and hit that hot fire and whoo, he ran right back out.
Rio.
The three little javelinas lived happily ever after in the adobe house. And if you ever hear Coyote's voice way out in the desert at night, well, you know what he's remembering. Yep, he's remembering landing in that hot fire. Yeah. The end. So what book was this like?